I got a question for you. What if everyone gets the God that they do or don't believe in? So, this question comes from some hilarious thing that I learned yesterday. Kirk Cameron, who was on that show called Growing Pains, has been a super evangelical Christian for a very, very long time. And back when I was an evangelical Christian, I thought he was cool for how he went out into the world and, proselytized or whatever he felt like he had to do. At a minimum, I felt like he was sincere. But then when I got kicked to the curb for asking questions and thinking about things from deeply reading the scriptures and trying to be a super Christian, where I used to listen to Jesus Freak on repeat and all this other stuff like that, and I got kicked to the curb, I realized that the folks that I was amongst were exactly what we see them being right now. But Kirk Cameron is starting to figure that out because of the controversy around Kirk Cameron. Now, here's the hilarious thing. The controversy isn't because he did something criminal. The controversy isn't because he had an extramarital affair or any of those other things. His controversy is about hell. And it's not that Kirk Cameron doesn't believe in hell anymore, because he still believes that God would torture and burn up people who don't believe in Jesus. So he still has that elementary kind of thinking. But what he dared wonder out loud with his son was if people only got burned temporarily instead of eternally. And so, so Kirk Cameron and his son had a conversation about it. And you know what his homeboys in evangelical church did? Man, they did what they always do. They turned on him so fast. They turned on him so fast and were like, "What do you mean? It's eternal torment and damnation for all who don't believe." And they just went crazy because they love hell. They love hell and they love to fill it with the people that they hate. Oh my goodness. It was kind of hilarious. That being said, it made me think, okay, Kirk Cameron used to think this, but he studied, he was sincere, and after he read the scriptures and stuff like that, his brain told him, his son's brain and his brain, which they're gonna turn on his son like a mug, but told him there's the possibility that the creator only temporarily fricassees and burns and crispy rotisseriizes some people, right? That should not be a travesty. But you see the infighting. So I started thinking to myself, okay, if something like this will make these people fight against each other, because it's not good enough for them, for some people to burn for like 20 years, 15 years, whatever it is, they got to burn forever. They got to burn eternally. And what I've been saying to people lately, and if you see my last post, I said, I hope you find the love you're looking for. That's what I've been projecting on to people. I hope you find the love you're looking for. But these people, no offense to them, or maybe offense to them, they project their hate, their self-disgust, whatever it is, onto people. Then they attack their own projections. So they literally will go out into the world, excuse me, put a mask on that projects something on other people. And then they accuse the people of being what they are. And then they attack them, right? Which is a certain form of insanity. But they do it to their own people too, because they have this absolutist way of thinking that if you don't agree with me 100%, then you deserve all the evil in the world. Hi, Cynthia. Good afternoon to you too. So I am now wondering to myself, we live in a world that has transformed a lot. Even in my lifetime, that I used to have rotary phone. We had black and white TV when I was a little kid. We had no computers in the house. We got all these technology. Now we got AI where you can't tell what's what. I'm actually real though, if you're wondering. We got all these things going on, right? And when we come up with all these new technologies and these new things that make our lives simpler, or whatever, we also get new analogies. And these new analogies give us a sense of what is possible and what's in the universe, right? But we also have a greater degree of customization in our life. Like when I was a kid, you had very few very few options when you wanted to watch TV. So a lot of people talked about the same shows because there was only so many shows. Now anybody can watch so many things and never even watch the same thing as their friends and family. Why am I saying this? Is because as the world gets more customizable, I'm wondering if God or people's experiences of God gets more customizable. Does that make sense? Because that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering, what if everyone gets the God or that they do or don't believe in? So if a person lives their life and they're just like, there's no such thing as God, then their experience is there's no such thing as God. If a person lives in such a way as they're like, there's a God, he hates everybody I hate, because most people just make God be an extension of themselves, right? So God hates everybody they hate, tortures everybody they would torture, and is just a big version of themselves. Then that's what they get. And then if you have people like MLK, who like loves the world and believes that there's enough love for everybody, then in his mind, the world is full of love and there's enough love for everybody, and that God loves everybody no matter what they do, yada, yada, yada. And then you have different religions and different things that people believe, and they just experience what they believe and then they project that out into the world. That's what most of us do. I tend not to do that. I try my best not to do that because I know what it's like to be the recipient of so many projections that had nothing to do with me, that I don't want to project on anybody else. And even though I was raised to project on the people because of the tradition I was exposed to, when they turned on me, I was able to go like, wow, is this what we do? I was able to reflect on the projection. And then when I reflected on the projection, I said, I don't like this projection. I'm not going to project this anymore. And I changed my projections to be, over the years, I've customized my own projections. So right now, the projection that I have customized is that everyone in this world is very desperate for love. And they're all out here trying to figure out how to earn it, how to deserve it, or whatever the case may be. And then you got people who just like absolutely don't think they're worthy of love. And they either project that on other people and try to destroy the people that remind them of themselves or make them feel crappy about themselves. Or you get people that say, hey, God loves everybody, or the creator loves everybody, it's a loving universe. And then they project that and then they try to live accordingly. And I'm in this state right now where I'm just saying, okay, if everybody wants to be loved, then every effort they make is a misguided attempt at being loved. And if they actually experience true love, they will no longer have to hold on to this false notion projected out to the world and attack their own projections. So now, instead of being like angry at everybody, I'm trying to say, I just hope you find the love you're looking for. And I hope you find the God you're looking for. When I made that last video, actually, it was posted on YouTube, and I had some people say a few things to me. One person told me to stick to my day job. And then I told that person that my day job is to bless people who project negative things onto the world and then attack their own projections. And then I blessed that fool. But then, and then some people, they were saying things because I had mentioned Renee Good. And then all of these dudes of one demographic all basically said that she deserved what she got, because these dudes, for whatever reasons, I think that their misguided attempt of getting love is that they came into the world getting told that life was supposed to just be easy for them and God loved them. If God loves them, then everything's going to be easy and be handed them on a platter. And then when they met real life and weren't equipped to handle real life, then they decided it can't be God's fault. It must be everybody else's fault. Damn immigrants, like in their brains. That's what they think. So it's everybody else's fault that their life doesn't match their illusion. And so they go on their attack spree and whatever it is may be. But to each and every one of them, I said, you know what? I hope you find the love you're looking for. Because if they do, then either they're going to change and shift and become a better human being, or they're just going to shut that up. At any rate, back to what if we all find the love, get the God that we do or don't believe in. My question to folks is, why do you believe in this creator that, whatever your version of it is? I know that a lot of people, it's very important to them that their creator hates who they hate and will do harm to the people that they want harm done to. And sometimes I joke and say I miss, the thing I do miss about being an evangelical is it was very clear lines of who was going where and who wasn't because of what we got told. But now, if I were that same kind of person, I would think that everybody in that group, not everybody, but a lot of them would find themselves in a place that they condemn other people to. But that's a curious thing to think about, because if you get the God that you do or don't believe in, I wonder if you get the punishments and the rewards of that God that you do or don't believe in based on what you desire for other people, because Jesus' teachings were like, treat people the way you want to be treated, and as you judge others, it's going to be done to you. So if all of these people who think they follow Jesus are going around saying everybody's going to hell, burn, 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 and then that Bible tells them you get what you want for other people, then they're the hells that they believe in is where they're going, because they want that for other people. And I want everybody to find a love that they're looking for. Therefore, what's going to come to me is the love that I'm looking for, which I'm not looking for, because I know I'm loved and I love everybody in various expressions. So I don't have to think about that. But my curiosity is like with some of you. I don't know if you're feel like moving your thumbs around, but think about the God you do or don't believe in. What would that mean for you? If you got everything that you wished for other people, how excited are you about what's ahead for you in life? And if you're not excited about your future based on what you believe, then that should tell you something. If you get what you want for others. So my thing is like, I want the best for everybody because I want the best for myself. And it's sincere. I truly want the best for everybody. Now, can I be around everybody on their journey? No, absolutely not. Because some people don't want me on their journey, and I respect that. So I stay away from them. But at any rate, I'm kind of ranting. I just really, really, really would love to see more people engage their beliefs more deeply, because if it's so strict and so divisive that even a small little change in your belief or whatever the case may be ostracizes you from the group, that's not a community, that's a hostage situation. And I think a lot of people in spiritual communities are living in a hostage situation. They are so afraid that they're going to get the thing that they wish on other people that they trap themselves in these little enclaves of insanity and are just like, please don't let it happen to me what I want to happen to other people. Let me get all the answers right and let me condemn people or whatever it is we feel like we have to do. That's ridiculous. There's so many things. If I wanted to, I could dismantle so many stuff in the Bible like crazy because I studied it. I went to seminary and really dug deep. And my faith isn't based on other people agreeing with me or believing what I believe. It's based on one is based on my experience of living my life and trying to live according to my principles, and then witnessing the return on living from my principles. And the stuff doesn't resonate with me, and I see things that defy what I've been taught. I just don't believe those things anymore because they are not presenting themselves as valid expressions, because I've tested it. And so everything that I believe or know are things that I've validated and tested through living my life. I prayed for my enemies. I had to pray for the relationship of my previous partner that was in a relationship with somebody else. And I got myself to pray for them and for their well-being. And I visualized a happy future for them. And I hope they have that. And I got to feel the feelings of that. Before I prayed for that, I was like, they stink, except for I said it worse and felt horrible things. And I knew that the only release I had was to release them. And so I released them and I felt my heart filled with love and light and joy. And I experienced what some people might call miracles of relationship and other things that came into my life because I desired for this other person. Like I got the relationship that I desired for my ex. I got myself the desire for my ex. And then a lot of transformation happened. And I finally got the family that I hoped she had, so I tested it. I know that that kind of thing works. But if I was wishing harm and hate and all this other stuff on them, and that came back to me, that would be terrible, but it would be what I deserved because I get what I put out. So all that to say, when looking at your life or what you believe or what you don't believe, just ask yourself, what if everything I put out there was coming back to me? Would you be happy about it? And then if you believe as a loving universe, as I said in the previous conversation, if the universe is full of love, if that's what you believe, then some of the experiences that you might have are incompatible with a loving universe. So it's either there's not a loving universe and your experiences are valid, or there is a loving universe and your experiences have become invalid. You know what I mean? So, like, I believe as a loving universe, I believe that if I am truthful and honest and do my best, that not I'm going to get rewards, but that I will have wisdom. And from that wisdom, I'll be able to make decisions. And those decisions will be decisions that lead to flourishing for myself, my family, my community, those sorts of things. So as long as I do that kind of behavior and I believe that, then I can have that expectation. And so when I have things that try to tell me otherwise, I know that those things are not compatible with a loving universe. So then, or a loving creator, or whatever the case may be. So I say to myself, this thought I'm having is incompatible with a loving universe. This thought has to go. And then I put that thought away. And when it comes back, I just, because I'm holding a standard of a loving universe, I let that thought go. And I've had horrible things like my brother's murder happen in the context of this loving universe. But what ends up happening is if I'm holding tight to this belief that the universe is then loving, every feeling that comes up that tells me otherwise is just constantly getting revised and I'm learning from it. And I'm thinking that this universe, part of loving is learning and growing and teaching. And so I, with the same love, am able to learn from my life with my brother and also um it basically taking your thoughts captive. I guess that's a way of framing it. Yeah. So I just basically continue to refine myself in the context that I believe I'm in. And so I believe that I'm in a loving universe. I believe that the creator is loving. I believe that people have the capacity, but they also have the right not to live in that direction. And it's not my job to police them, to make them live up to the standards they profess or whatever the case may be. I have choice. So if someone tells me, like, I've had friends that tell me, like, oh, yeah, I mean, I follow sweet baby Jesus or whatever it is they say, but the things they do don't match what they say. So then I tell them, hey, man, what you do and what you say doesn't match. And I'm not going to sit here and keep talking to you about something because you also know that what you say and what you do don't match. So let's stop having this conversation and we don't have to talk to each other. It's as simple as that. I love you. Bless you on your way. And then I surround myself with better people and I replace people with new people because you don't have to be around the same people forever. I met some new friends recently and I said, hey, man, I'm glad to meet you because I've been pruning relationships in my life and cutting people out that I have no need to keep them in my life because of the choices they make and the ways that they express themselves and the lies they tell. And so it's cool to meet new people. Every time I let somebody go, somebody better comes in. How awesome is that? Because I believe in this loving, fulfilling universe that I don't have to feel bad or sad about cutting off liars. Like I just don't. I could just like bye, and then somebody else better comes in, and I get to meet new people. That's awesome, you know. And we all have that opportunity if we believe we have that opportunity. If we believe that the universe is going to fulfill and love and provide, and you live into it, and you banish those thoughts that tell you otherwise because they're incompatible with the loving universe you say you believe in and keep that discipline, there you go. That's how it goes. I'm gonna say a couple more things that sound like they're non sequiturs, but they are not non sequiturs. One of the things that I've been thinking about lately is I realized that there's some of the shittiest people choose to compare themselves to people that they both defy but also try to align themselves with. So here is the example. People keep trying to say that Charlie Kirk was the Martin Luther King of whatever he is supposed to be the Martin Luther King of. But I was asking myself, this is a proof that people know better. People know what Martin Luther King stood for, and they think he's a good person, even if they hate him. They think he's a good person. Charlie Kirk didn't like Martin Luther King Jr. But his people, Charlie Kirk's people who followed this fool, said he is the Martin Luther King of them. So they compare him to somebody that they know is a pretty decent person to substantiate his decentness while to try to convince the rest of us that he was a decent person by comparing him to a person that he doesn't like. It's like, how silly is that? But that shows you it's these a lot of these people know that they're full of crap and they use different things from a different community or different people that represent and actually live into their values as much as possible as indicators that they are on the same track, but they clearly aren't. All that to say, hey Drew, let me see what Cynthia says before I have to make a call. She says, "What do we do when you do all the good and love people like you want to be loved, and it just never seems to be reciprocated?" Cynthia, I would say, kick them to the curb. You know, I mean, you don't have to reciprocate. You don't give to get necessarily. You know what I mean? But if you feel like it's not being reciprocated, I'll tell you that it is being reciprocated, but not by them. The love that you put out into the universe, it does come back to you, but it comes back to you through the channel that is willing to be that return of your love. If you hold a person in that place who's not willing to be that reciprocal being, then you aren't receiving, but the universe is giving it to you. If you're putting love out, it's coming back 100%, no doubt. Everything you put out is coming back. But if you got fools in front of you that's blocking what's trying to come to you, you got to move them out of the way. Don't expect them to be what they can't be, and then just receive. And I'll tell you one quick example. No offense to my parents could not be the parents I needed. And I had to let them go when I was like 15 years old and say, hey, these are some people who have to work out some stuff and they can't be what I need them to be. I released them. And so I still hung out with them, but I just didn't treat them like as if they were the parents that I needed. And out of that, people came into my life that actually played that role in a healthy way. And I was able to, every piece of love that I've ever put out has always come back to me. It just doesn't come always through the people that I gave it to. So basically, that's what I'll leave you with. But thank you for asking that question and thank you for receiving it. And is JD Vance the Apostle Paul? I doubt it, but that's a whole other video. So, blessings to all of you. May you find the love that you're looking for. It's already there, but may whatever blocks you from receiving it uh, get out of the way so that you can receive everything that you're given. And if you're getting what you don't like and you know that's what you put out, then just start putting out something else. It's that easy. Love y'all. Thanks for joining. And if you think other people will benefit from it, please share. And yeah, let's see what happens. Peace.